everybody. I was just trying to write you. Sorry, is the internet slow tonight? So, how are you? We've got June here, and Sherry, and Cheryl, and Marcia, and Polly. It is so good to see you. Hello. Boy, Mark had to restart my system. It was so slow, nothing was moving. So, I have been working really hard on my undersea quilt. And hopefully I've got all the pictures, but a couple of y'all have been doing a great job on yours too. So how is everybody? Has anybody gotten into a bad mood lately? Because I tell you what, sometimes I'm angry and I don't even know why. Has anybody had that problem? I had to stop watching politics. I still try to watch my Governor Cuomo. Oh, be still my heart. He's so good in this. Linda is here. Maureen Colas is here. Colas. So good to see you, sweetie. So sorry about Tuesday. I think I'm not used to Mark being here so much, and he's talking my ear off. And I thought I was the chatty Cathy one. And so Tuesday, when people there weren't many here, I thought, I got a headache brewing. You know how you can kind of feel like something right in here, like a band around your head. It's going to squeeze you. Oh, you know what? I think a lot of people are having this problem. It's really, really hard. And then like today, 2,000 people die in one day. My heart can't take it, It's really hard. Hi, Patricia Fry. So I've been working really hard on this, and I want to show you a reason that I love Steam-A-Seam too. Because here's one of the 9x12 sheets, because I bought it from Amazon. And my iron died a few weeks ago, and I've been using an iron that my daughter gave me. She gave it to me because she didn't need it, but it's been dropped a couple times. And so it smells a little hot, and it just doesn't, it's not what I needed. So 2 nights ago, I went on Amazon to order an iron. They're estimating it's going to take a month to get to me. So, I'm just going to have to make do. I've got my little portable one. So if this one doesn't work good enough, I'll get one of my portables. But anyway, as I was telling you before I distracted myself, this is one of those 9x12 sheets of Steam-A-Seam 2. And it comes with another page over. And I just peel it off to reveal the sticky side. And then I take all the itty bitty babies I've been cutting out, and I place them. I fit them in as close as I can because I'm cheap and I don't want to waste it. I looked for more of this. The only package I saw was $9 or $11. I said, I'm not paying that much for it. So I just fit it in, and if I run out, so now all I have is this because I've gone through the whole package. So that's the only problem about this size package. Oh, here is one more little piece. So anyway, but I do have plenty of fusible webbing, just not Steam-A-Seam 2. And it is so nice when you have these little pieces to put on that you can just stick them down, cut them out the best you can, and then stick them down. And then while I sit and talk to you tonight, I could always cut them out. So I'm going to get ready. Remember these little curlers that I found? They were the foam curlers off my old, I've had these curlers since probably I was a teenager. Well, I washed them today so they'd be a little fresher, and I'm going to sew those on because they look like those sea cucumber type things. So I'm excited. I got those washed. But Let me see. Who's on here? Oh, that is so nice, Maureen. They say people are loving jigsaw puzzles. Do you know that there is a online jigsaw puzzle company? Um, if you type in online jigsaws, you might be able to find it. And if you join it, you can even put your own pictures in because you know it's the one. If you get the Quilt Show newsletter by the email, they'll have like every Friday they have a quilt that they've put in a jigsaw form, and it's on there. So I love it. So if you missed out on getting a real jigsaw, look for the one online. So I know it's such a shame. I thought I would look into maybe seeing if Joanne's is doing anything online. But this is great because I can push it on there real good and then cut it out, and then it'll be ready there. And you can even then peel off the other side of the paper and then see where you want to put it, which is very convenient. So, yes, that's the best thing is seeing couples working on the puzzle together and leaving them sit there. Yeah, you know what? That's a good point because we do enough on-screen time that's all by ourselves, all alone anyway. So, but yeah, it's so good seeing all of you. And I just wanted to know if y'all are having a rough time staying peppy as I am. I'm a very upbeat person naturally, but I tell you what, this is pushing it. And I never thought we would see almost 16,000 people, or over 16,000, I think now. So that's really hard. That's really hard. And two, being worried, you know, when you have all the high risk conditions, it's a little scary. I'm not ready to go yet. I've got a grandbaby that's going to be born in August. So this week, we're not going anywhere. We are not going to the store. We're not going anywhere. And if the toilet paper runs out, we switch to tissues. Tissues run out, then we switch to the few paper towels. Paper towels run out. I've got some old phone books. Oh, that's cute. So now during the shutdown time, yeah, I'm better at the online puzzles because if it's too complicated, like a blue sky and blue ocean, oh my God, I can just go to 30 pieces or 40 pieces online and solve that. So, but that's nice. Oh, you can't stay, Michelle. It's good seeing you, hon. And I love my Michelle. Times like this, I really miss her. So take good care. Say hi to Patrick and Sandy for me. And I hope you'll soon be spending time with those grandbabies. So I'll show you my quilt because I've been a busy girl. I've made sure I have worked on that frame, the quilt, the mandala quilt. I am quilting it and loving it. Okay, hold on just a second. Let me move back here. Let me see. How far do I have to move back? So, as you can see, it's a big quilt, and it's getting filled up. So, here's the upper part. And right in the center where you see a hole, I'm going to have a big jellyfish with tentacles coming down. But here. So it's coming along, people. And I'm tickled. And some things I'm having a little trouble with it, I've got to tell you. And what I'm having trouble with is... Oh, thank you, sweetheart. What I'm having trouble with is using my regular domestic machine to sew some of the things on. I think I need to switch and do some work on it by hand. because I've just got so many different things and so many different textures and glue behind some of them, and then steam behind most of it, and it's wearing me out. But you know what I did? I cut out the sea life that I wanted to put on it, took it upstairs with me, and cut them out watching TV with Mark. And that helped a lot because I could put my feet up and just kind of do mindless work. So I'm working on it. Hi, Kathy. So yeah, this is a little bigger than I'm used to doing. I started this 4 years ago at a class in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And Marjan Klupfel was the teacher. And anyway, I hardly got anywhere at all. It was a one-day class, and you know how that goes. So what I did is I thought, well, if we're going to do an undersea quilt, I've already got this. And so let me see if I can show you a little bit more. Oh, Michelle, thank you, sweetheart. So, you know, this is my whale. I love his eye. I did a little more delineating on it. And so then I have like a fish here coming through the seagrasses. I lifted him up, tucked him under. And the same with this one. I saw this fish and I liked it because it was coming towards you. And I've been trying to think of what the fish would do if they were undersea and which ones are going to swim in schools. And then if they're down here, are they trying to find something to eat? Because, I don't want to just make them go, okay, I'm just swimming through here, minding my own business. And let me see. But I got a starfish here. I don't know. These look like mushrooms, but they were on the undersea fabric. Then I have some sheer green with a little glitter that I took and cut into a wavy shape and then ruched it, and then sewed it down the middle. And I put my turtle on top of some interfacing. I put this turtle on interfacing. Now, I did these jellyfish out of fabric, but trying to cut all the skinny legs out of the fabric is ridiculous. So I'm going to try to take some orange yarn and make the legs. And then I'm going to make up my own jellyfish to go right here. I would love to do a man of war. That would be awesome. I don't know if I'm leaving this here. It just doesn't quite look right. But I have some little turtles that are supposed to look like they're in the background, way back. Then here are my 3 angelfish. I made a fish out of my own fabric, and he's coming loose. So let me see. I'll just pin him down for now. But he's a little heavier because he's made out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of fabric. So you see how I just kind of glued them together. And then I only had a partial turtle here, so I sewed him over on the edge. That way you don't know. Oh, I've got Nemo. I've got my, oh gosh, now I forgot what they're called. But anemones. I've got my anemones here, a few more around. I've got to make a bigger brain coral. But at the base of this one, and I put a fish behind some of these things, and I put a little bit of this here. I had fun with cutting a lot of little things out from the different fabric. It's really fussy, but I like the effect. I even have a oyster here with a pearl in it. I thought that was cute. And see how I cut up my anemone so I could have the clownfish, the Nemos, and they rub all of it all over their body. So I've even got this one upside down rubbing through it. But this was, some of this has been falling off. So if I sent you some, since it's chenille, make sure you zigzag it down. But I was trying to sew it today and my machine acted up. So I think it just doesn't like all of the layers. But I still have some seahorses and a fish. And then I haven't used all of my embellishments yet. I'm going to be using those. So I blocked some fish in, some things I'm waiting to put more embellishment. Like, this. I want to be able to put this into some form going up here. And I'm going to make a little bit more of this because I really like this. I love that color. And it picks up on this color below. So I really like that. I put a few more fish down in this pre-printed scene here. And I can feel them as I rub over them, which ones are added. So I've gotten a lot of things put on. Now it's time to put starfish. I did put one conch shell down here. So I'm going to work some more on that. And what I'm doing right now, while I'm talking to you, some of this is going to have to be sewn on by hand. Oh, Polly, you're so sweet. Thank you, honey. Some of this stuff's just going to have to be done by hand because my machine doesn't like sewing through all these layers, doesn't like sewing through the glue, doesn't like sewing through the steamosine. Oh, I know what I was going to show you. So these I started to throw these out the other week because I was getting ready to use sometimes I like using foam curlers to curl my hair. But anyway, these are going to go up in here like that. So, and once I sew these edges down, especially if I can make them come out a little bit like this, I think they're going to look so cool. So, don't they look like those tubes they have on? Hi, Brenda. So good to see you. So I think these are going to work. And I mean, there you go. That's repurposing right there. 40-year-old foam curler bits. So, and I might do another fan or two because I really like the fan. And I really like this too. So I might put some more of this. But I want some of these things to kind of flow up into the top. And as I said, I'm going to take some of my netting and make and I thought I had some that's pink. Because the one thing I really want to use for the arms, the tentacles, is this. So, but I'm going to take and figure out how to make the body of it. What I'll probably just do is fold it in a couple layers and stuff it with some batting, make it up here, and then have the legs coming down. Because I think that's kind of cool. I wish I had had enough of this to share with y'all. So I think that'll make really good jellyfish legs, especially with the sparkle on them, I think. And I have no idea where I got this. Somewhere along the way. I love found treasures. But I've also been thinking of using some of this, some of these. And then, like I said, I've got more netting to use, more of this. So, And then I'll be done with adding the embellishments for now. I would like to use some sequins. I even thought about using this shiny. I'm not sure how to use this right now, but I've got it sitting here. And I've got my threads for thread painting and tacking things down. So I'm pretty well set. And so start thinking about what you would like to do for our next landscape project or next art quilt project. Maybe we'll do an outer space thread painting and regular painting. So maybe, if you like, we'll do, look at some of the Mars pictures, look at the nebulas. I don't know, look at galaxies. In fact, I'll bring down next week. I'll make sure I did the God's Eye Nebula, and I'll show you that. So just have some black or dark blue fabric and some different bright threads. Look them up if you want, but we could do that unless you come up with something better. So that would be fine. All right. So I think that's about it. Oh, I was just looking at this picture that I put on the site. I did want to have a large skate floating by. I got to figure out how he can float overhead. Kind of like, I like doing things that are just a wee bit dramatic. But I have some shells from beach collecting, and I may cut some out of fabric myself to put. But anyway, don't forget, this is on the Groups.io site. So you have lots of outer space. Yeah, because I've been really wanting to get back. I want to make Jupiter. So badly do I want to make a Jupiter. So if you think that that's something, we all get to vote. And so if you think it's something you might want to do, and oh yeah, that log cabin. Our Cheryl Lemon actually made her log cabin. It was so neat. So we'll throw log cabin in there, some space kind of things. Oh, Patricia, that's so nice. We would love to see a picture if you want to show it to us when you're done. That would be very, very nice. Yeah, I was a little torn with this undersea because I thought I can go more realistic, or I can go a little bit cartoonish. And I think that's one of the reasons this fish bothered me. In real life, this is supposed to be a parrotfish, and they're not quite this bright, but somehow when I put it on this quilt, it looked out of place. So I did some editing, and that's why I think, So what I'm going to do, what I have left to do is a little bit more of the coral reef thing, and see these, that I need to cut it out better. And then I've got a cute little school of fish, and then some more of the anemones, and I'm not sure what this is, and a couple little starfish. But then I'm going to be working on schools of fish. And I even somewhere have some fabric that has a bluish silver school of fish, like in the background, one of those balls of fish. And I would definitely like to put that to kind of give some depth and perspective, to the quilt. So I'll keep working on that. Then I need to take my invisible thread and I need to zigzag things down. And then what I'll do is see if I have areas that I want to do thread painting. I'll do thread painting next. Then after that, I'll do the quilting of it. And the last thing, I'm going to take real seashells and buttons and any little things I find that I want to put on there, and I'll hand sew those. But you can't put anything anything like buttons or shells on until it's all quilted. You don't want to hit one of those with your needle. So that's the last thing that goes on. You can use a hot glue gun if you don't want to hand sew it on, if you have arthritis, or you can just stitch it down by hand. Now, some of the shells I have, I'm going to have to ask Mark to drill a little hole in them so I can kind of subtly sew them on. If I didn't want to do that, I could use a hot glue gun. So, yes, I'm excited. I love doing the God's Eye Nebula that I did. I adore it. I love it. And Mark was blown away when he saw that. So that would be really cool. And I have a few space fabrics, but that's when thread painting really comes in. And thread painting is this easy. If you can sew a relatively straight or slightly curved line, you can thread paint. So you just need to have some kind of interfacing or stabilizer on the back of your fabric. Could be as simple as muslin that you do spray 505 adhesive or whatever, or you can just put fusible interfacing or muslin on the back of your fabric with a fusible web in between. You just want to stabilize it because anytime you do lots of thread painting, it's going to want to draw up and get uneven. So you want to be able to keep it flat, and having it a little firmer works. And then I'm going to have to find my gloves. I love the gloves that help you do quilting or thread painting because they kind of grip the fabric. If you don't have that, you could put your fabric in a hoop and try to get it under your needle, and then you just move your hoop and do your thread painting. So there's all kinds of ways. You don't have to go out and buy things. That's really important to me, that I don't want you to feel like to do this class, you've got to spend money. This is for learning and for fun. And I would really, really, really like you just to be able to come in and play. Now, I forgot to ask you this. I'm asking you right now. Did any of you make up a bingo card? If you didn't, that's okay. We could have our big bingo game on Sunday. But I didn't know if, I know Jody made a bingo card, and maybe Cheryl with an S did. I don't know. Does anybody? Do you know? Yeah, Jody, you did a good idea, and a good job, and you even caught your little mistake. That was great. But if not enough of you have your bingo cards made up, then come back Sunday at 3:05 and we'll play Quilters Bingo. But you have to do good and pick out your own prizes to give yourself if you win. Because I can't give you any prizes. Normally when I play this, I made this game. I made up the cards and I made up the sayings and all to put on this years ago, probably 10 years ago. And what we normally do is everybody that wants to play that day brings 6 fat quarters. And so we all sit around. We have a basket that goes around. And if you want to play that time, you throw in one of your fat quarters. And it goes all around and basket gets full of fat quarters. And whoever wins that particular game wins all the fat quarters. That's a lot of fun. But since we can't do that without violating a whole lot of stay-at-home orders, since we can't exactly do that, I've told somebody, I forget who, just make sure you have prizes to give to yourself. It could be sewing notions, it could be candy, and also, and on our groups IO, I have the card and I have the list of sayings because I have them. I have about 10 under each letter. Cute, I think it's Quilto or something. Oh, I'm sorry. It's good to see you, Miss June. I think the internet is overloaded. Sorry, sweetheart. Take care, Miss June. So anyway, How many people here have cards? I think Polly and Jody. Because what we can do is, this is a good chance. Since it looks like we don't have many people here, this is a good chance for you to get your cards done. If you're not on our time to quilt good, oh no, Anne. Hi, Anne Shellbear. Okay, so if you are not on our Groups IO group, then give me an email to this address and I will send you the card and the words to fill in. Okay, our time to quilt at twc.com. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so what I tell you what, we'll do it Sunday. We'll play this on Sunday when we know we have plenty of people. You did. Oh, Jody. I love Jody. You are so much fun. Sherry Mercurio, it's so good to see you. So, yes, and I believe everyone that I'm seeing is on our Groups IO. But if not, I put my email address, and I will email you back a copy of the bingo card to print out and the words to fill in. And then you have to decide, what are you going to cover your spaces on the bingo card with? You could use M&Ms, you could use Cheez-It crackers, you could use buttons, whatever works for you. So we will do that Sunday. Is that a good deal, guys? Any excuse to buy fabric, I am with you there. So anyway, trying to think, I think I kind of talked about the quilt and what things that I put on it. I've got a few things like this. See, they had, in some of the fabric, they had like some plants that I think I can do a pretty good imitation of with this. Instead of trying to cut out all these narrow little branches, I don't think so. So what else is going on with all of you? I don't really, we'll talk some more next week. Next week, I plan to have this kind of wrapped up, and I thought about wrapping it up this week, but you know what? I'm still going, so if y'all don't mind, we'll go one more week, and so next week, we'll go ahead and vote about what, and if you have an idea for our next project, let me know. I want to thank you so much, too, for making this so much fun. I am getting so much out of this and producing so much work, and I'm thrilled. I'm just loving this. So thank you. I really feel like Jody was a big part of the success of this Thursday night landscape. She came in and just really, her energy was contagious. And ideas, I mean, she was the one that thought about the birds where I did my dancing flamingos, and y'all did amazing things. I mean, every step of the way. And she turned it into, instead of me just talking about a nondescript landscape quilt, she turned it into a challenge. And I have been so happy with how many of you have taken up the challenge. In fact, let me, you have been a good inspiration and a good fire starter for us. Let's go. I'm hoping I have the pictures all put in here. If by some chance I forgot your undersea picture, I will show it Sunday, I promise. So let's see. Let me see what I can do here. Okay. All right. And now, let me see. Okay, here we go. Let's bring up. This is Cheryl's. This is Cheryl's undersea quilt, and I think I have one where she completed it. And see, I love all the different things she's got scattered on her seafloor. So that is really neat. Oh, I know why I can't tilt this any further. Hold on. Sorry if that's loud for your ears, Hans. Now I can get this straight. Okay. So, oops, let me go back and just check to make sure I didn't turn. Oh, good. I didn't turn anything off. Okie dokie. Back here. All right. Now, for someone mentioned the log cabin quilt. There's Miss Cheryl's log cabin quilt. And you know what I loved hearing best? She said, Deb, I'm having fun. And oh my gosh, you don't know what that means for me to hear that, because that's what I want this to be. And I love all the things in her undersea quilt. She even put a shoreline and a lighthouse and a boat. Whoops. Let me go back. Let me see. Bink, bink. Okay. So she's got a boat and a shoreline and a lighthouse. I love it. All right. Now let's see. Oops. Hold on. I've always loved how that screen goes down multiple ways. Now, I'm not sure. Oh, and I need to find out who didn't get their packages, because I sent out 11 or 12 of these envelopes, and I think some of them maybe didn't pass muster. So I apologize, and I'd be happy to send some more. Okay, I don't think I have anything. Well, here's my daughter's surprise lamb. You want to talk about good things happening during this crisis. My daughter went out and found that she didn't even know the ewe was expecting, and she found this cute little lamb in her barn. So that was a sweet surprise for her. Okay, we've got Jody's finale on her Bacon of the Sea. I just love that. And I love how she used the batiks to make the skin of the octopus and the other little dotted fabric that she cut out for the suction cups. And see, she did a great job. She's got schools of fish, which is just what you would have. And the cutest little seal you ever saw. Okay. Good work, Jody. Gosh. She keeps me inspired, keeps me on my toes, let's be honest. Let me see. Kathleen, I think she sent me anything further? Somebody sent me something today, so I'll keep looking. Okay, let me go back here. Nadine, Patricia, I don't know. Oh, I know Mrs. Patricia's that she's been working on. So let me see. I know who sent me something, and I did put it in here. Miss Cheryl. Okay, she started out with this. And I'm sorry, I told her I love the orange fish. I love him. And I've named him Alfred. But anyway, and here, look what she's gotten now. Look at this going on. I just love it. And I love the way that she helps you feel the ocean currents with the little bubble fabric. Isn't that awesome? Looks like she's got some down at the bottom, like as if they are maybe little fish eggs or something. So I just love everything she has put in this quilt, and her turtles and fishes and seahorse. Oh, she cut her own seahorse out. Very, very good. Very good. And look at her plants, and look at this. Isn't that awesome? So I need to do some more of that, but I love her work. So I knew I got a new one in, and I'm so tickled to show that. Okay, so if you will take a picture of what you're working on, I would love to show us all too. Whoops, let me get pardon me if it's loud. I'm trying to turn my camera back around. Okay. So send me what you're working on, and we'd love to see it. We would love to see it. So that was so cool. And okay. Yay. All right. So what else? Oh, good, Cheryl. Cheryl's going to do a lot of painting on it. Now that's going to be awesome. And since someone wrote in after the first or second undersea and told me how to make paint bubbles and or bubbles because I want a few little bubbles here and there. Oh, coming up from that oyster, that'd be good too. But remember, I just took a plastic straw, cut it, dipped it the end in white acrylic paint, and then made a circle on my fabric. And if you do a kind of like turn it a little or do it off slightly offset one, it looks even more real. So this is a great quilt for painting, for handwork, for ink tints, for crayons, for glitters, sequins, because undersea you can do anything you want. You could make a treasure chest and put little tiny gold and silver buttons in there to make them look like gold coins. I did a whale on mine. Some people are doing shipwrecks. One person did a magnificent octopus. And so sky's the limit on this because this is your own world. This is your fantasy land. So it's a great one. And, I've got a lot to cut out and add. Boy, I'll be cutting carefully, won't I? But I needed to have schools of fish, all the small ones. It's fun to cut the big stuff out because it's like, wow. But the little ones fill in and kind of give it more fun and realism. So, but I've still got all of my yarns and ribbons and doodads and gewgaws that I still have to put on there. So I'm excited. And if you're looking for patterns in the file section of our groups IO, I put some patterns and fun things, anything to make it easy on you. So let's go. Oh, Cheryl Hogan, you didn't get that envelope. I still want you to have one. Let me write that down. My problem is I don't write them down when I'm talking to you. I keep hoping it's going to come in, but I've given up now. I think if it was going to come in, it'd be here by now. So Jody, I don't think Jody got hers. So that would be Jody and Cheryl. And then is Marcia still here? I hadn't sent Marcia's out yet. And so I'll make sure to mail these at the same time. All right. Was there somebody else? And just so you'll know, Jody bought my about 20-pound box of scraps. Was that a heavy box, Jody, or what? I was like, are you sure you want this? I went through the scraps and tried to get anything that was just too small or too nasty out of the bag because I didn't want her to have to pay for any more shipping than she had to. So, but those are scraps from years worth of sewing because I've saved them and I just got tired of looking at them. Sometimes you just got to clean house. Speaking of cleaning house. Wow. Well, then I guess you feel like you got your money's worth. I hope so, sweetheart. But I still haven't finished cleaning the room and making that video about cleaning the room because I just haven't felt like it. I read a great article. I think it was in the Washington Post, and it said, if you're not up to doing, some people feel like, oh, you're still not done. Oh, good. And, what was I going to say? Oh, they said if some people thought they were going to get all this stuff done, get themselves organized, get a grand project done. And one of my daughters did. She painted the front of her house where her porch is and the porch ceiling and the rails. It's gorgeous. And I haven't gotten anything that grand done. And I was feeling guilty, like, what is my problem? I've got to get with it. And then I realized, or I read in this article, it said, we're going through a crisis right now. Be really easy on ourselves. Be gentle to ourselves, because everything feels off. Everything feels wrong. I'm having a hard time figuring out what day it is. So, I told Mark this afternoon, I kind of wish I could just lock myself in my bedroom and read, or shut myself in our bedroom and read a book. And he said, why don't you do it? Why don't I? It might be just what I need. So, I've got my hammock still set up. Maybe I'll crawl in the hammock with a light summer blanket and just read and sleep. Because honestly, when this is all done, we're going to all be busy. So maybe it is a good time just to take it easy and rest. So what are y'all doing? What do you find that you're doing to get through this time and make yourself feel better? Or is anybody having a rough time you'd like that we're talking about it? Would it help? Because we're all here for each other. We're a family. And that's one thing, quilters, we know how to be by ourselves, to hunker down, and we know how to reach out to our other quilting friends. So what is anything anybody would like to talk about, or how you're doing? Cooking and eating. I keep thinking, I made a good cake the other day. I keep thinking about I should be baking and making some of my sourdough bread. Mushroom hunting. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. I've always been too afraid to even think about it, but what a cool thing to do. That is wonderful. I do want to make some cinnamon rolls, but I'm not sure my waistline needs it. I was bragging to Mark, hey, I don't think I'm gaining any weight. And then I'm like, oh, I think I saw 2 pounds. So maybe I won't be making those cinnamon rolls. Making masks, eating too much. You know what? A lot of people are gaining weight. And you know what? If that's what helps get you through this, don't beat yourself up about it. We have not had anything like this. This is World War II scary, except the enemy's on our soil, so to speak. The not being able to just go to the store and getting what you want. Wondering if you have enough of this or that to make it through. Because Mark and I said we were not going to anywhere this week. They said this was going to be the worst and we weren't going to go anywhere. And yeah. And you know what? Sometimes I feel like if my phone rings one more time, I know people want to chat and talk, but I don't like talking on the phone. It's gotten even harder for me right now. I feel like I don't have anything left to give. Are any of y'all feeling like that? It's like I keep finding myself saying, well, I should find something online to do with the grandkids, or I should do this. Well, should is a bad word. Be prepared. Should is a word of shame, and we don't need to shame ourselves now. Oh, the morel season is starting. You know what, Cheryl? I can cough and gain a half a pound, so you're doing darn good, let me tell you. Oh, wow. So Brenda's having a hard time concentrating. Yep. And we need to, as women, we're so good at being understanding about others, but we're terrible on ourselves. So I think this is good practice for us to just be good to ourselves. Normally, when I'm stressed, I like to go to a movie theater and get lost in a movie. I can't do that. So I have to find something new that helps me feel like I'm just taking care of me. Oh, Jody lives in the woods, so she can walk all around and look. And I'm so glad that you're smart enough to know what kind are the good mushrooms and what aren't. Yep. And I think Weight Watchers will understand. I think everybody's having the same problem. Mark has put on almost 10 pounds, I think, but he says he's not he's working in the dining room. All that food's around him. What does he do? It's just we're doing the best we can to get by, and it's okay. We'll get back to normal. We'll get back to normal. Have any of you had any trouble sleeping? Sometimes I wake up a lot. I didn't know about y'all. Well, see, we're not used to going to the grocery store and finding empty shelves. And I love it. Oh my gosh, I've got the cutest picture to show you that Diana Wright took of herself. She's got her mask on and gloves, and she has a sign that says, "We'll quilt for toilet paper." Mark and I have not bought toilet paper since Christmas. And luckily, we kind of had it a little bit stocked up just because we like to keep a couple of big mega packs here. But we're starting to worry. It's like, how much longer is it going to be before we can find toilet paper? And the first week I put a sign out on the lawn for people who walk by to tell them I'm so proud of them and we can do it, and all the joy that they give me, and I still enjoy them walking by. But my excitement is not doing as well. I'm kind of like, okay. Oh, Brenda. Yeah, you feel awful the next day. My biggest problem too is I've been waking up too much at night, and I think it's just worry. Last night we had a thunderstorm, really bad thunderstorm here, and a ton of rain, and my little grommet dog was scared to death. He was laying right up against me, just trembling. So I took him, this was maybe actually about 5 o'clock this morning, and I took him out front, let him out front. He usually does better if he can go out front and see the thunderstorm. But, oh, good, Cheryl. That's important. Let's stay shut in. The worst thing we can do is say, oh, well, either I'm tired of this, or, well, the numbers are getting better. Let's go out. No, because, oh, my gosh, look how many people we've lost. Can't afford to do that. Are you taking a multivitamin, at least trying to eat some healthy fruits and vegetables and trying to keep yourself well? Because I don't want to lose a single one of y'all. You mean too much to me. So do your best. I know it's really hard, but really do your best. I'm so lucky. I'm in North Carolina, and our governor, Roy Cooper, did a great job of shutting us down weeks ago. In fact, this is Mark and my 4th week at home together. And you got to have, I tell you what, it really, really works to have everybody hunker down and really obey it, Yeah, you have to, because otherwise this virus is just rampant. Every day in my county, we get about 10 more victims. So not passing away, but ill and have tested. But I don't think we are doing a whole lot of testing in North Carolina. You do that, Sherry. I'd love to have you here. I love North Carolina. I was born and raised in Virginia, lived in Maryland for 21 years, but I love North Carolina. In fact, if I had my druthers, I would move closer to the shore, maybe off a river or something near the ocean. That but you have to have money. You remember when we were little, nobody wanted to live on the water. And now, oh my gosh, if I had known and could have bought a property where I wanted to live. Oh yes, thank goodness for all the YouTube. I mean, between Ricky Timms and Alex Anderson, eh, so many people and people putting shows up left and right and trying to be there for everybody. Thank goodness. You live in Virginia. I was born in Norfolk. Can you tell the way I pronounce it? It's usually a dead giveaway. And I was raised in Virginia Beach, went to high school in Virginia Beach, then lived in Chesapeake, Portsmouth for a little bit, and then Chesapeake when I had my first two children. And then from there, we moved up to Maryland. And then once I got my divorce, I moved myself down to North Carolina. Didn't know a soul down here. Picked it off of a map, and I have been so happy I did. So, where in Virginia, Miss Sherry? Virginia is for lovers. Virginia is for history. Virginia is for Williamsburg, Jamestown, Yorktown. Yeah, you'll miss YouTube after this, won't you? Oh, that's nice, Sherry. That's very nice. Yeah, I grew up in Virginia Beach, so I was used to military. I was used to people from all over the country. So it was kind of neat. In fact, I usually brought people home, people from Canada, people from who knows where. I have heard of that. I'm not sure. I can't place it yet, but I have heard of that. That's lovely. Virginia has some wonderful places. Oh, that's great. Yeah, so being in Winston-Salem, I'm less than an hour from Virginia. So that's nice, sweetie. Well, it's about that time, ladies. And I might go upstairs, and Mark bought us a box of fudge-sickles and a box of creamsicles. And I have to be honest, I have one of each every night. They're so good, I can't stop at just one. And, well, do I want a fudge-sickle or do I want a creamsicle? I have one of each. At least the cake is gone. We ate all the cake. I made a chocolate fudge cake with a white on white icing, buttercream, and then a decorator icing that was so good. And every night I was like a 5-year-old. It's cake time. It's cake time. So Mark said, no more cakes right away. It's like, yeah, I think we'll stick with our little fudge-sickles. Brenda, take good care of yourself. Everyone stay safe and healthy. Promise me that tomorrow you're going to carve out a little bit of time to just do maybe nothing at all. Whatever. When that time comes tomorrow, say, what do I feel like doing right now? The first thing that pops to your mind, do it. As long as it means don't leave the house. But whatever you can find tomorrow, we'll do it all together. We'll all promise that we're going to do one thing really nice for ourselves tomorrow. Okay? You know where I'll be, in my hammock with a good book. Take care, everybody. And good luck with finishing up your undersea quilts. Come on, guys. I tell you what, I knew I had some competition when I saw the things you were doing. So thank you for your part in making me a better art quilter. Thank you so much. Mwah. Take good care of yourself. Tell all the ones you love what they mean to you. Take care. Thank you, and thank you for spending this hour with me. I feel better already. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Be really good to yourself. Bye, Sherry. Bye, everybody. Nice seeing you, Brenda. Bye-bye, guys.